It's an ancient Hebraic marriage contract. It's a prenuptial agreement. It stipulates the rights and privileges of the bride, of the wife-to-be, and also indicates the price, the dowry, the mohar, that the groom is going to be paying for her. This is said to go back to Babylonian times, about 2,600 years ago. And the Ketubahs are not written in the vernacular language. They're actually written in Aramaic, which was what was spoken in Israel at that time when they came back from Babylon. And at a time when both in the Roman Empire and Greece and Egypt and Babylon, a woman was treated as little more than a chattel slave, this laid out her rights and privileges that the husband was supposed to provide for her, including food and clothing and conjugal rights. And if anything should happen to him, included in the marriage contract was provision that she be taken care of later on. But the ketubah would be signed, and then it would be left with the bride, so it becomes part of her possessions, her legal document. And the young groom would go off for an indefinite period of time, which brings us to the fact that the whole wedding ceremony in the Hebraic tradition is very rich in messianic symbolism. It's the father of the son who determines the woman that he's going to be marrying. And he'll send out a servant like the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, who is going to find this woman, will negotiate a price for her with her father. And when that has been determined, she's called the elect. She becomes the elect. And after this, the father will send his son to go to the bride and the bride's father with carrying three things. He'll have the mohar, which is a large sum of money to show how much he estimates the value of his bride. And he'll have the ketubah, which you see over here. And he'll also have a flask of wine. And he'll pour the wine into a goblet, and he'll take a sip of it, and then he'll pass it across the table to the prospective bride. And if she picks it up and she drinks of this, she's saying that she agrees to this covenant relationship with him. And this is an image of Yeshua, of Jesus, on that day when he picked up a cup and said, "This is the blood of the new covenant, which is given unto you." And he offered it to his disciples. When he did that, they were entering into a covenant relationship with him, as a bride enters into the relationship with her groom. And his mohar, his dowry that he paid, was his very life for his bride. And then the young man will go off for, as I said, an indeterminate period of time, usually about a year, to his father's house, where he will prepare a home for his bride and him. It was usually annexed on to the house that his parents already lived in. And then it was determined, he never knew when he was going to come back. So he didn't know, and neither did the bride know the day and hour of his return, because that was determined only by the father. And when the father said, "It is time, you can go and get your bride," then he would return like a thief in the night. She had to be waiting for him, and he would leave the ketubah, which again means written. And that is what Yeshua has left us in the Brit Hadashah, in the New Testament, is our marriage contract with him. And she would study this, and she would learn to be a good wife and a good mother all during the time that he was away. And then he would come back with torches and with shofars, trumpets, with an entourage, like a thief in the night, and he would carry her away to the wedding ceremony, which would last for 7 days. We're not going to keep it 7 days over here, but that is a tradition at the time. 7 hours, maybe. Yeah. So I need the witnesses to come forth and sign this. Otherwise, just